Season 2, y'all.
Hey!
I can't believe it. We're finally here. Season 2 of The Nanny. Oh.
Oof. You know what I'm excited about?
What?
We're past season 1. You know, I kind of undersold this episode to you because I didn't remember it properly, even though I watched it 3 months ago.
Yeah, it was great. It's a really good episode.
The B plot line I thought was from another episode, and I forgot it was a part of this one. I was like, oh, well, 1 and 1 equals 2. This is a good one. I thought it was going to be like a 50% good one. So
also, I need to call out HBO Max for not getting, not only is the episode order completely wrong, but like at the end of season 1, they have 2 episodes that aren't even the first episodes of season 2.
It's such a hot mess. So for those of you who are trying to follow along on HBO Max, we are covering season 2, episode 1, Fran-Lite tonight. That is absolutely what the season 2 opener is supposed to be, not whatever bullshit they put on HBO Max as episode 23 of season 1, which doesn't exist. The limit does not exist, and neither does that.
I'm pulling it up right now, so that way we all know the horrendous episode order that HBO Max has given us.
Also, this has been out for like 5 months now.
Oh my God, that feels crazy. Have we been doing this podcast that long?
Essentially. Hold on. Okay, so I'm trying to remember when it went live. Like
it's been a while.
April, I think mid-April is when it went on HBO Max, and when we started going live, or maybe it was beginning of May. So, okay, if it was beginning of May, it's only been 4 months. But I digress. We've been at this for like 4.5, 5.
So, just so everyone is aware, so that way you can follow along with us, the season 2, episode 1 is correct. It does say Fran-Lite, but season 1 has some random episode 23 and episode 24 that make no sense. They have episode 23 is the playwright, which is not until later into season 2.
No, the playwright is episode 2 of season 2.
Oh, it is. Okay. And then A Star is Unborn.
Yeah, and A Star is Unborn is episode 7 of season 2.
Oh my God, that's like so.
So that makes no sense. So I would suggest looking, if you just Google season 2, The Nanny, you can find the order. So it should go Fran-Lite, the playwright, then Everybody Needs a Bubby, that kind of thing. So we will announce what the title is until we get to episode 8, and then it should be all in order for the rest of the time that we cover the series. I haven't had any issues past that point of season 2 onward. So I think we'll be good, but we will announce every episode title before so that you can keep up with what we are discussing every week.
Yes, for sure. And if you're watching this after watching season 1 of our podcast, you'll realize, this episode's coming out on a Tuesday.
What?
I know, right? Because we have changed our upload schedule. You are now going to get a Nanny review every Tuesday. Oh, what is that? I hate that.
I don't know.
What you're doing. For those who are on audio only, Beth is just doing weird things with her hands. And then on Thursdays, you're going to get a Lost review. So we are filming these at the same time. So our outfits aren't going to change if you're watching the video version. I know I wear the same outfit all week long. So that's why I have
it's not a joke for me. So if we could just calm down, just because some of us work from home and don't have to change our clothes.
Also, I need to call it out right now. This is not a piece of jam on my face. My dog accidentally scratched me.
First of all, I didn't even think about it. Secondly, I've broken out so badly, and today this isn't actually as bad, but I podcasted for the season finale of All Star 6 for RHAP yesterday, and I had like 5 huge pimples, and I was just sitting here like, hi, everybody. This end of season stressed me out so much that I have broken out, and I'm here to break it down for you.
What would Dr. Mike do?
He would tell me not to pop them. And he would tell me to wash my face. And he would tell me to, instead of wiping your face down like this, to dab.
We love a good dab. We love a
And
good
then he would
dabbing
tell me
moment
to
motion.
find a moisturizer with a dermatologist. He would recommend that I go see a specialist because
I
he is
hate
a
that you
family
know
medical.
this. I hate, you're a Dr. Mike fan through and through.
Okay, excuse me. I am a Patreon supporter of his, which means I am a part of, I'm a Dr. Mike resident. Thank you. I'm a part of his Discord and I get to help make suggestions of things that they do. So
I did not know that we were in the presence of a Dr. Mike resident. Oh
guys,
my
I
God.
basically went to med school. I've watched a lot of his YouTube videos, so no need for the med school. I could tell you top things that you need to do in a situation like you get something stabbed in you, you don't pull it out. We've talked about this before. Somebody's heart stops. What do? Chest compressions, chest compressions, chest compressions.
I was going to say, consider them dead. So you've already got a leg up on me.
Listen, don't die around Dylan. I mean,
don't die around me because, girl, dead is dead.
Already been dead. What up? Okay.
But today we are reviewing episode 1 of season 2. It's called Fran-Lite. So let's get into it. We have a lot to talk about in this episode.
Yes.
It's so weird. We're not going to have to do the transitions anymore because
I still think we should keep them in.
You know what? We will. Let's keep them in.
I think we should do our intro and then we have our wonderful. But here's the thing. I'm thinking, okay, I was going to say chat. I'm turning into you.
Yeah, you are. People
who are listening to us, watching us, don't you think instead of having the actual clips of previously on Lost or she was, I should sing the nanny thing and you should do the previously on
like
Lost.
Live?
No, like we have a pre-recorded clip that we put in of us doing
it. Yeah, we can do that.
I think that would be cute.
I don't know if we'll do it this first episode, but let's absolutely record it.
If y'all like that idea, we can move forward and put that together. And then if we have those saved like little clips or whatever.
Production queen. Love it.
Listen. It's all I didn't know what I was gonna say.
She just I just wanted to do flip the fan. So let's recenter. Let's recenter. So that way we can add in the nanny section. Here we go. This is The Nanny, Season 2, Episode 1, Fran-Lite.
She was there. That's how she became the nanny.
It's like Diet Fran.
It is. It is literally a diet Fran. As we learn later, it's like Fran, but missing a little something.
Yeah, it's first of all, I have to say diet sodas.
Call them out. Call them out, drag them for filth,
when people say, oh, it's exactly the same, I want to literally take my hand and go, but across only their taste buds and be like,
ooh.
Do you not taste anything?
Well, I don't drink soda. So can you explain for us that are uncultured when it comes to soda pop, however you want to say it, what is the difference between a diet soda and a non-diet soda? Because I personally don't know.
You actually don't know? Okay.
Yeah, I don't drink soda.
A diet soda doesn't have sugar in it. So, and it's normally close to calorie free or like pretty low calorie.
Is it because they put stuff in it to replace the sugar?
Yes. So that it's very, to me, it tastes like a chemical almost it's like a bland, like, why are you even trying to be soda? So I have personally said, and I bring this back to Dr. Mike because he would agree with this.
Oh my God, not Dr. Mike.
Have you even watched a Dr. Mike video?
No, I've never once. I will have to at some point watch Dr. Mike.
I want you to watch the Lost one because I didn't get to watch that. That's the one you should watch.
I'm going to do it right after this.
I'm going to do it right now. I was like, well, bitch, we are recording. So maybe wait like 5 minutes. Although I could do a live reaction. That'd be fun.
No.
No. So basically, I have always said that if you're going to just go for soda, first of all, try to do it in moderation. There more and more research. This is what I actually just watched on his channel not too long ago. So more and more research has shown that soda is the number one issue with kids in obesity in terms of, now, of course, correlation does not mean causation, but it changes the way that kids' bodies digest sugar. And therefore, that's why we're seeing such high rates of obesity and diabetics. And a lot of that has to do with such an early age of your body trying to figure out how to process food. That's also why there's like a lot of people out there in the world, especially who are like Gen X and millennials, who are having more gut issues than ever before. Like I have Crohn's, for example. My brother and I got diagnosed with Crohn's and ulcerative colitis like within 6 months of each other the same year. And we grew up with pretty much the same diet. We drank a lot of soda, but we were both really healthy, fit kids because we worked out a lot. We were a part of sports teams. We were really active, those kind of things. But we drank a lot of soda. We ate a lot of sugar. And that amount of sugar changes actually the composition of how your body can break down sugar, because sugar inherently is good for you, but not added sugar. Added sugar is too much for your system. So all of that aside, I say if you're going to
talk with Beth,
but by way of Dr. Mike, but basically, what I always say is if you're going to have soda, just have it, because like just have the sugar. Like I know there are people who like diet soda, but I'm like, those people just don't have taste.
I just love that we just went on this whole tangent about diet soda, literally based off the title of the fucking episode, which is Fran-Lite. We haven't even talked about.
Can we also talk about the fact that I fully say all this shit as someone who just drinks seltzer, which is like water trying to be soda. Like it's like the next tier down from diet.
We retitle this Fran Seltzer, because that's basically what this person was. They were the seltzer version of Fran.
I'm sorry. We are not going to insult seltzer like that.
You just said it was like trying to be soda. This girl was trying to be Fran.
She wasn't trying to be Fran. She just was being herself.
She just happened to be Fran.
Listen, seltzer didn't do anything for anything wrong. I don't want you to think that
sponsor us.
I don't think this is about you. Okay. I don't want you to feel bad.
She's talking to the can of seltzer
and kissing it.
Like a crazy person. Okay, so let's get into
that. Is episode. Normal, sane behavior.
Exactly. It's just a normal day for Beth.
But before we get into this, I think it is important that we say congratulations to Fran Drescher.
Oh my gosh, yes. Iconic moment in Fran Drescher's career.
This is huge. This past week, Fran Drescher was voted the new SAG-AFTRA president. So the Screen Actors Guild, which is like the largest actors guild for film and television, it's their union. She was voted the president. And what I didn't know until I saw the news that she became the president was that even though both sides of the union tend to be very liberal because it's Hollywood, there's a huge divide within it that are like, I'm going to be honest, it kind of sounds like 6 to 1, half dozen to the other, but like about the ways in which they make deals. And so I'm not going to claim to know what the big difference here is, but it sounded like she was more in favor of one way of making sure that actors and professionals were getting back to work with COVID. And the other candidate was in line with like a more conservative approach. But when I say conservative, I don't mean politically conservative. I mean more like we need to kind of like take our time and that kind of thing. But Tom Hanks threw his huge weight behind Fran Drescher. And I just have to say that if Tom Hanks supports Fran Drescher, you know she's a motherfucking badass.
She is, in fact, a legend, and it needs to be known. So congrats to Fran Drescher. That is a huge step in her career. And it's very interesting to see, like, going forward, what kind of stuff Fran's going to do for the Screen Actors Guild and what kind of policies she'll put in place within their union. It's definitely going to be interesting. Being in part of SAG is like a huge deal in and of itself. So like being the president of it is even a bigger deal. No,
it's huge. It's huge. I'm like so stoked for her. But anyway, so let's get into this episode a little bit. So as you kind of alluded to, we've already talked about this episode has two main storylines happening. One is slightly bigger than the other. But
no pun intended.
That was good. That
was a good one. That was a good one.
Damn, they got me tripped up.
Sorry.
like a good way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dylan, what were your impressions of the episode?
Yeah.
Did you like it? What would you rate it?
Yeah, I think for a season premiere, I'm going to rate this one and then I'll explain my rating, a 9.5 out of 10.
Ooh, okay.
The only reason I'm docking it down a 0.5 is it doesn't feel like a season premiere.
Okay.
So normally, and again, I this is me maybe being too critical, but normally like a sitcom, from the sitcoms I've seen, when there is a season premiere, it is kind of like kicking off the next era of what the storyline will be, or like what the evolution of like, whether that is, we got a hint of it, whether they're like the kids are going back to school. So it's like, okay, so that like differentiates this from a little bit of like the end of season 1 to season 2. But other than that, it kind of just felt like season 1, like part 2. Which isn't a bad thing, which is why I give it a 9.5. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was hilarious. The zingers were zinging, honey. And
they got picked up and they said, oh, okay, we're going to do really well in season 2. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Beth can attest to this because I had my face came on. I was laughing my fucking ass off for nearly the entirety of this episode.
It was pretty close. I was laughing and I know what all the jokes are. I know what the storyline is. Part of it, what's fun watching this show with somebody who's experiencing it for the first time is like, it gives me permission to laugh out loud at it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, that was funny, right? Isn't it good? And it's just like have that moment.
But I have to give credit though to the nanny, because I have quickly realized I have been consuming a bit more comedic content here and there, like watching a few comedy shows. And they're like funny, but they never make me like laugh out loud. And The Nanny is like one of those shows that actually makes me laugh out loud, like LOL for realsies. And it's so that's a testament, because it's very hard to get me to like laugh out loud, like legitimately. And I'm also like one of those people that like fake laughs a lot. It's just it's a thing that I do. I don't know why. This makes me actually laugh.
Actually, fake laughing is a way of validating people.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I hear you. I know what the intention was. I'm here with you. Like, yeah, like whatever.
Yeah.
But you can tell when you're genuinely laughing. And
and I'm like guffawing. Especially during this episode. I really liked the storyline of this. I thought it was so ingenious. I actually think it's really funny for a comedy in this era to like involve children with dick humor, and I thought that was really funny. Like, I was like, okay, Nanny, because last season we got some cutting edge comedy and like storylines with Sylvia, and now we're getting into like a prepubescent like child thinking that he's got too small of a penis, and like and I'm just like, what is this beginning premiere? It ends up wrapping up in a very good way at the very end. But for a minute there, I was like, this is where they wanted to start off season 2. All right, work, I guess. But I will get into like my own personal stories of the locker room, because I have some funny ones.
Oh, girl.
But we'll get there once we talk about Brighton's like situation. Yeah. So we do start off with the kind of evolution of the storyline. The kids are going back to school. Nanny's so excited, or Fran is so excited. Niles is so excited. And this is like a momentous occasion for them. So much so that Niles made sandwiches so far in advance that they're moldy now.
Yeah, that was she was like, I think the bread's stale. And he was like, it's because I made him back in June, as a joke. I don't think that he.
Oh, I know. But I was just like, this is so silly.
I like how my camera was like, yeah, he knows it's a joke, Beth. And they like blurred me out to be like, bye.
So I had conflicting moments about when the kids actually came on screen, because when I first saw it, I was like, Gracie's hair icon, yes. And then she like got closer. I was like, why you look why you look like an old woman?
She looked like she was supposed to be like in a play like Guys and Dolls or something like that from the 50s. And I was like, girl, what is happening?
I was like, first off, if that's not a wig, she's very blessed in the hair department.
Oh, that wasn't a wig.
Okay.
They talk about some time in one of the interviews I've listened to about how they used to like really go out and style like her hair. And a lot of this is going.
Style? No, I'm kidding.
Yes, as in the verb. I think that what's going to be interesting to keep an eye out for is that she very much her hair, her mannerisms and such are going to be very heavily influenced by Fran.
Oh, for sure. Like, I think that's what
I
they
mean,
were
it's
like.
obvious, so it's not like a spoiler or anything, but
Yeah, they were like beating us over that. I think it was like painfully obvious. They were like reintroducing the kids, and like it kind of showcased how all of them were influenced by Fran in some way, shape, or form. Brighton was more vulnerable than he had been at the premiere of season 1. Maggie has her own style and is going out and hanging out with friends, and Gracie looks like an old woman. So that we have this like moment in the very beginning, and I really liked the storyline of the most eligible bachelors list. And I love this like lie they're telling themselves that Maxwell is somehow number 3 on this list out of all of Hollywood. I was like, all right, I guess, yes. But jokes aside, I thought it was a really good jumping off point because of what we got in season 1, which was kind of like, will he, won't he? And we got a confirmation that it's been 5 years since the mother's passing. So it does put Maxwell in an interesting situation because he might not have fully healed, but the kids have kind of moved on at this point because it's been 5 years. And the rest of the house is kind of like, all right, it's time for you to move on, Maxwell.
the rest of the house?
The what?
You said the breast of the house.
Oh, the boobie of the house. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Yes, thank you. The tits of the
titty
house.
Yeah. No, but the rest of the house is kind of egging Maxwell on, being like, just move the fuck on. Like, it's been 5 years, dude. And it's not like he was like sitting there really torn up about this. He seemed to like he put his feelings aside and then he was able to express them in the season finale. But good out there and date. You're good looking, you've got money, you're in your 40s. Find you a hot piece and run with it. I don't know. That's what streets do.
Hey. Yeah.
Go eat a bucket of chicken and lick your fingers after. I don't know. Is that what they say? Beth, don't make that face.
Just thinking about chicken.
Oh my gosh. Yo, okay. Side note, being pescatarian, I only eat fish as my like source of meat, and then I'll eat vegetarian options. If there is one food I fucking miss, it is a bucket of fried chicken. Oh my God. If I smell fried chicken, it's like instant Pavlovian response. I will salivate like no other. I'm just like, ooh, I miss
I
fried
don't
chicken
mind
so
fried
much.
chicken, but I prefer like chicken cutlets. Like I love like breaded chicken, like for like chicken parmesan or something like that. I would like miss or like chicken tenders, something like that. I'm like, ooh, panko crust.
See, the vegetarian versions of those are still pretty good, so I can like get by. There's not really a good alternative to fried chicken. I've tried what they've put out there, and it is nowhere near the flavor and tastiness and grossness that is fried chicken, while also being like good as hell. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But Maxwell's saying that he's not ready to date. Yeah. And I'm like right here waiting for him, and he doesn't date me. So fuck Maxwell.
I would like to remind you that you were probably 3 when this came out.
Well, when you put it that way, like obviously
this came out in 94.
No, I'm kidding.
Were you 3 in 94?
Yes, I was 3 years old, and I was a little whore. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
You were sharing your binky with everybody in town.
Oh my God, girl. Okay, for those that know me, this story. Where is this going? No, okay, wait.
I'm so happy I didn't take a sip there. I was so close. You're like, Dora.
Okay, wait. So there was, when I was like 3 years old, 4 years old, this stuffed toy of a blue Power Ranger that I used to carry around. And secretly, I used to call it my boyfriend. But my mom, like I never would say it around my mom and stuff. But in private, I used to pretend to kiss it and like call it my
When
boyfriend.
you say pretend to kiss it, did you like actually kiss it? And then
I don't think I ever did. I don't think I actually ever.
So you would go like this?
I just go like I wouldn't actually like put lips to it because I was like that'd be weird. But I'd be like mwah, like pretend like I would kiss it and then cuddle it at night. Yeah, I was a little whore. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Actually, you're very monogamous.
That's true.
If you were like, and then G.I. Joe and Ken and
oh my God, He-Man,
the Thing.
He had this romance on lock. We went
the Hulk could get it. Oh man, we are literally never going to get through this.
Well,
I'm actually thinking what probably makes sense is to do this instead of scene by scene, do it storyline by storyline. So if we talk about like the Maxwell kind of storyline first, and then
let's do that. So the Maxwell storyline is basically Fran and Val want to go out to party. They're single as well, so they want to find, their own hot pieces and bucket of chicken to lick their fingers with. And I don't know. And
they want to find their own Power Ranger.
They want to find their own stuffed blue Power Ranger. So Maxwell is convinced to kind of go out to this club with them. Outfit of the episode, hands down, Fran's red and black dress, but actually I'm going to give it to Val's dress.
I was just going to say, I like Val's dress better in this episode. Yeah.
So Val, congratulations. You finally have won an outfit of the episode on this podcast. Val's episode, see, what I didn't like about Fran's is it sat too low on her chest. So it looked really weird. It looked like she had saggy boobs when she doesn't have saggy boobs.
No, they're very perky.
Yeah. And so it was like this, and having saggy boobs is nothing wrong. It's just, if you've got perky boobs, don't wear an outfit that makes them not look perky. Like it's not like flattering. So it looked kind of strange on her upper half, but it looked very slim and sleek throughout. But Val's dress made her look like it was like a military dress a little bit.
It was really cute.
Yeah, it was really nice. And I liked like the what in fashion, the plumb line, is that what it's called? Plunge line?
The plunging neckline?
I called it the plumb line.
I was like, what is he talking
Fashion
about?
Please hire me.
Well, ever since, Joan Rivers passed, we never found somebody who had quite that knowledge and that insight, who could also bring a comedic delivery. But we found her right here.
You're like, girl, those Louboutins, like I'm just mispronouncing everything.
You're like, Larry Batons over there are.
I really love that channel bag.
Oh, God.
I fucking
jeez. I can't even deal.
Okay. Sorry. I'm getting so distracted.
I love.
So that's the outfit of the episode. And they go out to the club. Love this gay joke. Love this gay gag they have of Maxwell pretending to be gay. I like to think that he is secretly.
Well, I love that we're going to have a great time tonight. The three things are, you don't know us, you've never seen us before, and we might have to tell some people that you're gay.
Yeah. And he's like, cool.
And he's like, oh, okay. And so they're standing in line and she's trying to scope out someone with her makeup mirror and he's getting in the way trying to find it too. And she's like, well, you need to move your head, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then because he was in this magazine, security guard recognizes him.
Which I love to think that the bouncer's reading the top 10 eligible bachelor list.
In my head, either he is gay, the security officer, or he's been informed by people like there's someone in line, and because he's kind of scanning people as he's going down the line.
I also love this reality that we live in where somehow Fran Drescher and Val are not invited into a club because I'm like looking at everyone around them.
They're hot.
They're fucking hot. Yeah. And I'm like, the bouncer's like, I'm gonna pass. So we learned that like Fran and Val never get invited into any of these clubs.
Especially since Leslie made it in. So like, why couldn't
Right?
like the whole point of the plot of this episode is that someone who looks like Fran is in the club.
Yeah. And
Which I guess means maybe they're like, okay, we already have someone like you in there. Can't let you in.
I mean, maybe they were trying to make a dig at because there was like a bit of age humor in this. So maybe they're trying to say that like, what's the name of the Fran-Lite girl?
Leslie.
So maybe they're saying that Leslie's a younger version of Fran, and that's why, like, maybe I don't know. It's
But
a
Fran's
commentary.
29.
It's actually a commentary on age. And
Oh, Lord.
wait, is she supposed to be 29 in the show?
She's 29, Wink.
Okay, I was about to say. I was like, okay. Anyway,
Actually, I think she is supposed to be like 31, but she's 29,
interesting.
Wink.
So that's an interesting age difference then between Maxwell and Fran. I never realized that age difference. I always just in my head assumed they were about the same age. Like,
Because we learn in this episode he's 42.
yeah, so he's like much older than her then, like almost more than 10 years older than her.
That's hot.
But you're like, that's hot.
Listen, women tend to seek out people who are a little older because, especially if they are straight or interested in men and that kind of thing, because no offense, men, but you kind of, especially in our society, don't really get on our level until you calm down and become a little bit more mature.
Not just that, but he's got a lot of money and men typically die sooner. So
Women are more likely to inherit twice, once from their parents, once from their husbands.
there you go. No, but I think it is an interesting like age gap between the two of them.
Yeah.
And Maxwell makes it into the club and has to pretend that he's gay, which I think is hilarious. It pretends he doesn't know Fran or Val and goes inside, and Fran and Val just are sitting out there eating some snacks, and Maxwell comes out and says that he's met Leslie.
Yeah,
I already forgot her name.
Yeah,
Okay.
Leslie.
So he's met Leslie, and so we are introduced to Leslie, who I don't know who the actress was that played her, but I was like, I like this Fran-Lite. I want to see Fran and Leslie become friends.
Yeah.
I doubt we will see Leslie ever again, but I do like this idea of Fran finding her equal, but not like in a threatening way. In a like we're going to become best friends because we're basically the same person.
Yeah.
It was so cute. So then
down to like the fact that every outfit they wear in this episode looks very similar to what the other person is wearing. This becomes a recurring joke with Fran throughout the series. Is like anytime somebody, like whether plot wise or whatever, is supposed to represent Fran in that situation, it either is like there's two jokes. The one is like, holy crap, we're so similar. Look how we're dressed. And like, that's humor that gets recycled, but is always effective. Like there's not a time I can think of where it's not funny. Or you get the recycled bit where she's like, doesn't understand that there's so much in common with it. And she's saying something that's the opposite. It's very tongue in cheek. That's clearly meant for the audience and not for the plot of the episode.
That makes sense. It makes complete sense. So then we basically meet the rest of the family meets Leslie, and Niles is kind of like, so do you think that Leslie is, kind of similar to someone? And we get hilarious responses from both Maxwell and Fran when Niles confronts
Audrey Hepburn
Fran about this. Yeah, of course, Audrey Hepburn. Hands down, if I had to compare Fran to someone, for sure my first pick would be Audrey Hepburn. And not, Snooki. I just want to see her. Wait a minute. Snooki playing the new Fran Drescher. You said Cardi B.
That's Snooki, what Fran had said.
Yeah, but Snooki?
I have my own fanfic in my mind that I've never written, and I can't explain it to you because it's way too much spoiler stuff, but I have ideas. And that is not in my fantasy. So we're going to say no.
Okay.
And I
so
also like, here's the
JWoww.
thing.
No, I'm
They
kidding.
could, okay, I actually would be fine with JWoww
Okay.
because I think that JWoww actually has a lot of the elements that I think would be funny. Snooki, no.
Okay. Damn.
Love Snooki. Love
Oh
Snooki.
nope.
Not
I
for
think
this.
you just put your foot down. You're an anti-Snooki
If
conspirator.
that's the way you want to interpret it, that is up to you. You are obligated to do whatever you want to do. It's fine, whatever. But no, so there's what I want to ask you here is
Yeah.
you said before that you didn't really think this would be a good, or that it's not like the best premiere.
I didn't say it was like the best premiere. I think it's just it doesn't feel like a season premiere.
But after we see how everything leaves off at the end of season 1 with Fran and Maxwell, and this kind of picks up with like a new thing, do you think they rushed into this and it's too on the nose? Or do you think this was kind of like, okay, there haven't been new episodes all summer. Let's remind everybody what we're trying to accomplish here.
No, I think what happened here is the end of season 1, they had an inkling that they're probably going to get a season 2 based off all of the episodes that were being ordered. And so they're like, well, we have to keep this storyline going. So we need to keep pounding it over the head that Maxwell's single, Fran is his perfect pick, and he's going to be very obtuse to it. Because they started this episode off with that plot line, makes me think they don't get together this season.
Ooh, okay.
Or that we're gonna, I don't know. It feels weird that you would start off a season like that. What I was expecting was something to happen to like kind of set the tone for the rest of the season. And normally with the season 1 episode of a new season, you're setting a tone. That's like first and foremost. When we get into our Lost review, we'll talk about like setting the tone of like what you can expect. So for like this, if the tone is Maxwell not getting it, that's kind of what we got in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm like, this doesn't really feel like a premiere. It just feels like an extension of season 1.
But is it Maxwell who's the only one not getting it?
Well, no, but that's same with season 1 was that. You know what I mean? Like there's not really an advancement of the plot. For me, it just feels like this could have literally been a season 1 episode and I would have believed it.
I think what we see, the most important thing is that we have a third party now who understands what's going on.
He knew in season 1 though. He
not
was like,
as overt as he's doing now, which is trying to really prod them to be like, don't you think so-and-so reminds you of somebody else? That kind of thing.
He's been talking, like he's been verbalizing it more. But
for those that are listening, you don't know who we're talking about. We're talking about Niles.
Yeah. I think he's been verbalizing it more, but I feel like he was very heavy-handed in like being like, you've got the perfect person in front of you, especially during that one scene where he's like longingly looking out the window and Niles is kind of like, what are you doing? And he's just like, oh, I'm just checking in. And he's like, is that really what you're doing? Like, it's kind of like Niles gets it. And I think he's gotten it for a while. I do think he is verbalizing it more. Mm-hmm. That's why, like, with how this ends, where he takes Leslie out on a date and he realizes that there's something missing from Leslie and there's that awkward, like, fun tension between Fran. Yeah, she's the seltzer.
Missing the sugar.
Yeah, something missing. Oh, missing the calories. Fucking skinny. Oh. Exactly that. That's exactly what Leslie did at the date. And he was just like, I don't know.
I would have been all over her. I would have been like, just kidding.
Same. I love her. No, Leslie was great though.
I love Leslie.
But I feel like with how this ends, if that's the tone that we're going with, I feel like, and I'm hoping they don't stick with that kind of theme for all of season 2.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's going to get very repetitive. If it's like a Maxwell just doesn't get it, Fran doesn't get it. Like, I feel like you can do that for a while before it's like, something's got to change here. Something's got to develop. I think it will. It's, as you said, it gets better and better as the show goes on. And I can't wait to see. I'm now wondering No, I don't think they would do that this season. I was like, I'm now wondering if Cece and Fran become closer friends in this season. If that's the arc that we're gonna
Me
get.
nodding is not affirming. I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Like, I'm wondering if that's where they're gonna go with this, and less in the romantic side. We'll have to wait and see. But there is another plot line that I think we should talk about.
It's a good one.
It's a big one.
It's a small one.
It's a small one. So Brighton comes back from junior high, his first day of junior high, and seemingly is pretty mad about it. He had a pretty bad day. And Fran asks Brighton, what's the issue here? And he doesn't really want to tell her. It's really embarrassing. And eventually he says, I compared myself to the other boys in the locker room, and I'm small. Or something along those lines.
I'm smaller than everyone else. And she goes, you're small? And he goes, oh, forget it. It's too embarrassing. And she goes, what could be so embarrassing about being smaller in a locker room? And then does a I Love Lucy look, which is, Yeah.
So it's an awkward spot because Fran is like, shit, I have to go talk to Maxwell, which is funny because like, the insinuation here is that if Brighton has a small penis, Maxwell might, and you want to see how Maxwell will react to this. And I think it's hilarious when Maxwell's like, but he had big shoes.
He has such big feet.
I just assumed.
Which is like so funny to me because like, I'm not saying that like it's normal for like parents to like be staring at their children at like a prepubescent age.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I can definitely tell you there were times where I was naked in front of my parents when I was like a prepubescent child being like, what's going on? And like those kind of things. Like that is normal. It's natural. It wasn't sexual, like those kind of things. So this tells you how disconnected Maxwell is from his own son as the only, like, besides like Niles, he's like the only male figure in this kid's life. Like, he's not telling them anything about but he's not, you're not seeing it at all.
I'm going to defend Maxwell here a little bit. As a guy growing up, I can fairly confidently say I was never naked in front of my parents.
You never used a urinal with your father or anything like that and like was standing next door?
Nope. Definitely never happened. Never even that was never a conversation topic and never had that opportune moment.
I had a specific moment where I had gone swimming in the lake, and this is the only time I've ever seen leeches in that lake, and I've grown up in it. And there's a whole bunch of like brush stuff at the bottom of the lake, and I dove down and gotten like the brush all over me, and come to find out there were like all these little baby leeches. I had them all up and down my legs and on my body, and I got out, and my mom was out of town, and so my dad was taking tweezers and getting them all off me, and I had to like take off my pants and like have him do this, and like so he like definitely saw me there, you know what I mean? But it's just like that kind of stuff, like things that like it's not like you're just walking around naked, but like there's gonna be you don't have a moment where you see your child like in like
I don't know. I don't
health issue or like they have a question about something or whatever.
I guess. I don't know. I just have never had that situation with any of my parents.
Yeah. No, that's legitimate. That's fine. But it's just so funny to me because like I think what it's supposed to paint here is like this idea of like how disconnected he is that he wouldn't.
But
maybe not.
I do have a funny locker room story. It's not really a story, but I remember in middle school hoping we would use the fucking showers because I was like not prepubescent. I was definitely hitting puberty, like going through puberty, like gay child being like, are we going to use the showers? Like, what's going on here? Are we going to see some goodies? Like,
oh my God.
They definitely, but honestly, that was the worst because you had a bunch of guys exercising and then not using the showers after. So the entire school smelled. It was disgusting. It was a disgusting smell.
Honestly, being a middle school substitute teacher is like That's all I did essentially. And it just smelled like BO the entire time because kids just don't know how to like wear deodorant.
Yeah, that and like they never had a shower. So we'd be like running the mile and then like in the super like Nebraska some like fall heat. And then you'd come inside after like sweating like profusely all over the like your gym clothes. And then you're not going to go take a shower. And I was very disappointed. Also, I had a very hot gym teacher. Yeah, definitely had fantasies about him when I was younger.
See, this is where I was on the swim team.
Yeah.
And we saw each other naked from 6th grade, 7th grade onwards.
Oh,
like
wow.
it was because like you every single day you had to shower before you put on your bathing suit and got in the pool. And then you needed to shower to get the chlorine off of you. And so some girls did just wear their bathing suits. But if you do that every day, especially when your bathing suit has been in chlorine and then is getting soap on it, it wears and tears too much. So like you would have to buy another $65 bathing suit, which is really expensive to do multiple times.
Yeah.
So like people were just got really used to just like
here's my titties.
Here's my titties and my pussy. Here we doing.
Here's my pussy and my titties.
And like we were like very open about it. Like
You're
there
like,
would be times where people would just be like shimmying each other's boobs and like their faces and such. And like it was just like shit that we did like that. Like everything that you imagine, like with a boys' locker room with like, oh, the towels doing that kind of shit. We did that kind of stuff, but like we were girls being like, feel my boobs. Do you think that this is normal as like an 8th grader? And then somebody else would come over and be like, yeah, like all the time.
The
people
vibe,
don't think girls do that 100%.
The vibe in a boys' locker room is so different.
Oh no, girls are all over.
It's
fine.
everyone to themselves, not looking at each other, not interacting with each other. Maybe like groups of friends, maybe talking to each other. There is no nudity, like at least in the middle school locker room that I was in. I feel like this might be just the school that I went to, though. Like I feel like this is
this is pretty. I've heard similar things.
Even in high school, there was no showers. Like
I will say, when I did gym class, it was very different. But because we were a team and we got together every single day and such, it was a little different.
Yeah, I didn't do extracurricular sports, so maybe like. They did, but I think I remember my middle school and high school showers not working. Like I remember them being broke for a lot of the year.
It's got to be illegal.
It was really gross.
Okay, so to get back on track, Brighton is smaller than everybody else.
Yeah,
and
to get back on track, I wanted to fuck my gym teacher. No, okay, wait.
And that's it.
No, wait, I have a story. I have a story. I fucked my gym. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, not like when I was in high school.
The burn book, where is it?
No. I just remember, I think it was 7th grade, ridiculously hot gym teacher. And I remember all of the girls, obviously they were like, oh, he's so hot. Like everyone was like freaking out about him. Come to find out, he had been fucking numerous of the not the students. You thought this was going down a dirty route.
I did. Well, I'll get into
he had been fucking numerous of the teachers.
And they all got STDs?
All the young teachers and some of the substitutes, because there was like drama or something that had like come out about like he was seeing someone that wasn't a teacher, but there was a teacher at the school who was interested in him, and they had apparently gotten drunk at a party. I was hearing all this tea when I was in 7th grade. I was just like, oh my God, no one can keep a fucking secret around here.
Okay, so I thought you were going to go the messing around with students route, because I had a math teacher.
Ooh, that's gross.
Who slept with girls and boys.
Oh
and
my God.
She was my math teacher. And the tragic part was the best math teacher I ever had. But my dad came in because my dad was my high school principal. So he would like, have to come in and
about you. No, I'm just kidding.
My dad was my high school principal. My mom was my librarian in middle school and high school. So I never escaped my parents. Like we went to school together. So that was fun.
Adorable.
No, it's not. So, like he would come into the class like twice a year to like observe, like he would have to observe all the teachers and like all that kind of stuff. And I remember him being like, she seems like a really like attentive teacher. Cause like we would have like desks that were like 4 desks put together in a square. And like we'd have to work with like the 3 other students or whatever. And like throughout this, the semester or whatever. And I just remember her like giving back massages to like some of the people at my table.
That's really creepy.
And such. And like, I just like that always struck me as a little weird. As a 14-year-old, I was like, a little weird. But I never really thought much of it because, again, I was 14 years old. And also, I was the last person to find out about anything because my dad was the principal.
Oh, my God.
No one ever told me shit.
That's fucking creepy.
No, it was super creepy. And so when they found out about this, her name is April Siegler. I'm just going to call her out because honestly, this is a fucking pedophile. So her name is April Siegler.
Bitch.
She got her New York State license, teaching license revoked, but she immediately got a job in Virginia. So good job, Virginia. But she got arrested on April Fool's Day, which is her birthday. She was born on April Fool's Day, which is why she was called April. They arrested her on her birthday. She thought it was a joke. And they escorted her from the school and everything. And my dad found a collection of photos of like all these students and such that she had collected like from students and like where like some of them I think were a little risque, but a lot of them were like this kids at prom. And like, so she had made like a collage of like her students and such.
Crazy and disgusting.
A couple of them were me.
Oh my God.
Nothing sexual. It was like me at prom, like, hi, like that kind of thing. But like my dad was like, fuck that. Like, so yeah. But yeah.
Welcome to the Nanny. Welcome to Hot Mess Moments. Just speaking our truths out there in the world. No, to bring it back to the Nanny. No, that is truly terrifying though. Like,
awful.
What the fuck?
I'm sure as we go on, I have so many other. I have so many
jail at some point. What the fuck? No. Okay. So with Brighton, there's this whole moment of he tells Fran about this, and so she goes in to ask Maxwell. Maxwell's like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to have the talk with him." And the talk is hilarious. I
think we need to have a little chat, not a little chat. It's sometimes it might seem little at first, but then the chat might get bigger later. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Where's my Nintendo? Then Niles comes and immediately turns around because he broke it.
It's so silly. So Maxwell clearly has never had the chat with Brighton. Doesn't
or
know.
A chat with Brighton. Like this, it was as if it was the first time he ever met his son. Let me tell you a little bit something.
So they end up basically breaking the ice later when Fran notices that. Sorry, yawning. Late at night recording.
It's true.
When Fran notices that Brighton had not gone to gym because he smelled great, his clothes weren't sweaty, and so she's like, something's up here. You can't pull one over on Fran. And so she knows that he skipped class or skipped gym. And so this is when she has the talk with him, and he's like, I'm so short compared to all the other boys. And she's like, oh, that makes more sense.
He was like, I used to be the big kid and now I'm the small one. And, he's like, that last year in 5th grade, like I had everybody underneath my thumb and like, I was the biggest kid there. And now I'm so puny and whatever. And she's just like, oh, they're bigger than you. Bigger than you. And he was like, what did you mean by that? She was like, oh, I knew what you meant, but your father was on some other team.
Yeah. He didn't understand shit. I also love her advice of, don't worry, once you hit like 7th and 8th grade, just, give him a little bit of shit.
A senior. What I love about this is that she's fully saying, he's in 6th grade right now.
Yeah.
I'm fully saying, someday you'll be a 17-year-old senior and you'll look down the hall and you'll see a little 6th grader just like yourself now. And you give him a little shove into the locker.
Builds character.
Oh, man.
So it ends up not working out. Or sorry, that I have it in my notes. So then after this is when it doesn't end up working out between Leslie and Maxwell. But that's basically the episode. I do want to bring up one hilarious moment, and that's when Niles runs to find Cece, and she's like, "Good God, it's multiply." Cece always delivers. Every time Cece delivers, like Cece is just
good.
one of my faves.
She's such a good character.
She really is.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So who was your MVP and LVP for this episode?
I think MVP is going to have to go to Fran. Because she recognizes an issue in the kids and brings it up to Maxwell and encourages them to find a solution. So Fran definitely MVP here. She also doesn't like get jealous at all. She encourages Maxwell to get out there and even like makes good with Leslie. Like is like really a all-around standout person. My LVP is probably going to go to Maxwell for not recognizing the obvious situation that he's in. And like, do you not see Fran in front of you, you fucking idiot? Like, and also doing kind of a piss poor job of talking to his son about like an issue that his son is having. So LVP definitely going to Maxwell this time.
Yep, we're just going to continue your LVP of Maxwell streak here.
Still love him,
of course, but
But he fucking sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, absolutely true. Awesome. Well, that is the first episode of season 2 of The Nanny. And as we mentioned in the beginning, what we're going to do is split up our episodes. So if you are interested in hearing us talk about the season premiere of season 2 of Lost, then tune in on Thursday and you will get that episode dropped. You'll hear everything I have to say about my first impressions of seeing season 2, episode 1 for the first time. And we'll go from there.
Yeah, we also completely forgot to introduce ourselves because we're great podcast hosts.
So here we are at 58 minutes. And I don't know how long we're in. It's quite like 56 minutes or something.
Yeah. But my name's 8-Bit Dylan, also known in real life as Dylan Zahner. You can find me on at 8-Bit Dylan. That's the number 8, BITDYLAN on Twitter. You can also find us at Hot Mess Moments. And Beth, where can they find you?
My name is Beth, also known as Augusta Wind 11 on my social media handles and on my Twitch channel. And yeah, you can catch me there. It's the city Augusta, then Wind, and then the number 11.
Yes. So we will be back here on Tuesday reviewing episode 2 of season 2 of The Nanny, which is The Playwright?
The Playwright, yep.
The Playwright. So
yeah,
make sure
that one's a pretty good one, actually.
Ooh,
I think I will say this and I maintain this. I think season 2 continues on the pace that season 1 gave and then starts to kick it into high gear about halfway through the season. So Fran-Lite was really good. I think we have a solid beginning, but it's still not my favorite part yet. You know, like we get there with the humor, with the comedy and such. So if you're liking it now, I think that you're going to really like it as we keep going.
Then I'm excited. I can't wait to see. So yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday. Hope you all have a wonderful time. If you have any comments for us, please leave them on either the YouTube channel. Make sure to leave a rating on Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars if you can. Leave us a little written review. And if you have any comments about The Nanny, make sure to tweet them on over to Beth.
Please do. Yes.
All right. We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.